Hi guys, my name is Kadasia KM and welcome to my channel. So today I decided to just speak about a topic that I've been thinking about this week, just because I applied for my Schengen Visa. Is it just a month ago, where I was supposed to go for my birthday actually to Spain, but then it got rejected. So yeah, yay for me, I guess. It's been like kind of a really sore thumb just because I was supposed to go on this trip with my friend, and she had everything figured out because she's a British citizen. I'm a citizen of Kenya living in the UK. So my processes for traveling are a bit different. For a British national, you can just kind of get up and go to any of the Schengen areas, which was even much easier for the other European countries to do before the Brexit. But now that we had the Brexit, we have this issue where for people like me, for example, who are from other countries living in the UK, it's still difficult for us to just travel freely in the nearby countries. So we still have to go through the process of getting a visa, which of course would have been the same thing I would have done if I was in Kenya. We would be able to just go through the processes of applying for a visa, and that's what I'll be going with you through today. So the first place that I wanted to start is, I guess, just a bit of my background in terms of travel. I guess growing up in Kenya, it's not that often that you get to travel to other countries because Africa is a continent on its own, and for you to travel to, for example, Europe or Americas, you would need a visa, and even for some African countries, you would still need a visa to travel to those to some of the African countries from Kenya. So of course, growing up, we didn't even have the resources to think of starting to travel. So now that I'm in my 30s, I've been quite explorative in terms of, okay, this is time, I need to travel, I need to see the world and all that. So by God's grace, we were able to come and live in the UK. I've been here for about how long is it now? Just going to 4 years, and it's been quite an experience, I guess, leaving my country, coming to live here. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So when I first came here, I was like, okay, France is near here. I would like to visit France. It's always been my dream to go to the Eiffel Tower, to go to like the different places in Paris. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and apply for a Schengen visa to go to France. And I didn't have much knowledge then of, okay, what needs to happen, what documentation do I need to have. But I think from my experience from getting the documentation to be able to come into the UK, I had an idea of what I would need to gather to be able to travel to France, to Paris specifically, because that's where I've always wanted to go. I think my travel to France was in 2023, I believe. Was it 2022? Anyway, one of those 2 years. So of course I went online, checked what would I need to be able to travel to France, and when you Google, you can be able to get the details of what you need, where you need to go. I think at the time it was not actually that straightforward when I was Googling it, but I was like, okay, this is something I want to do, so I'm just gonna put my head down and find out what I need to do. So if you go online, you're able to see so many things happening. There's some people who are charging actually for you to be to take you through the process of the application, but for me, I was like, okay, I don't need to be charged for it. But if I remember very well, I did contact someone, and then they told me you need to pay this amount, but that is after I had given them like my details, and they were like, okay, you need to pay us this amount, then we'll apply for you. And of course, when you're doing the application, you also need to pay the application place. So for example, for this one, I applied with TLS in London at the time. So what I did was, I gathered all the documentation. I went online. You need to fill in two places. You need to fill in documentation in two places. One is the government of France, and also you have to fill in the TLS documentation here, which is what you go when you're going to the TLS station in London. That's what you'll be taking, those two documentation and all other documentation that is needed for the application. So when I was going, I did take my contract, because they ask you for like loads of things for you to be able to take. They ask you for if you've booked a flight for going and coming. So even before you do the application, they're like, you need to come with your flight details, or you need to come with the means of transport showing us that you have actually booked to go to France and come back, even before like they give you the go ahead. So I was like, oh, okay, fingers crossed that I will get it. So I put all my documentations together. So they ask you to book the flight, book the accommodation that you're going to be staying in. They ask you to maybe show the itinerary of what you would like to see. So of course for me, I wanted to see the Eiffel Tower. I wanted to go through the different bridges where they have the padlocks. I can't remember what that bridge is called now. Of course I wanted to go see the Mona Lisa. I wanted to go to the Louvre. I wanted to go to all these places. So I did you also kind of have to show an itinerary, which you have to either book in advance and put it in your documentation. So when you just think about all these things, there's so much money that you're putting into this, which you don't know if you're even going to get the visa or not. But I was like, let's give it a try. I've not traveled that much in my past, and since this is something I want to do, I want to travel, let me do it. So I did all the bookings of everywhere that I needed to go. They ask you for your bank statements. They ask you for your employment contract to show that you're employed and that you're not going to, I guess, disappear there when you go there. So that was quite, I guess, a lot. But because it was my first experience, I'd never done this application before, I was just like, okay, let's go ahead, let's do this. What are they asking for? Let's get everything together. So I got everything together. They also ask you for a passport photo. Took my passport photo, and here I was taking a train going to London. When I got there, I think my appointment was supposed to be at 2 or something. I can't quite remember now, but when I got there, there's still long queues of people, because what I thought is when I get there at 2, I would just have my slot ready to just go in there, call my name, give my tokens or whatever I need to give my documentation, and I'm out. So I went there, gave my documentation, and then because you have to go, I think, through 3 stages or something. So when I went to the first place, they looked, I think, at my passport, and they're like, this does not meet the specifications of what the passport photo would look like. So I had to go take another photo because of that. Yes, and then you pay a fee again. So I can't remember really how much it was, but you pay a certain amount. Of course, on top of, for example, you've booked your flights, you've booked all the activities, you've booked your accommodation, because you have to show that you've booked all these things. So I take the documentation, and then after that, I think for that one, it took me around, 3 weeks or so. And of course, for some places, they ask you, do you want us to send you back your passport once everything is done? And whether we have decided whether we are accepting it or rejecting it, do you want us to send it back to you via mail? And I was like, yeah, I want to do that, because going back all the way to London will be a little bit too far for me to make that journey, because it was quite an expensive journey for me. So I did that, and thank God this one was quite I'd gathered everything, and I was able to get my stamped visa in 3 weeks or so, and I was able to travel. So that one was okay. And then I wanted to talk about the other visa, because I've applied for, I think, 3 more Schengen visas, because at the end of the day, they don't give you much time for your travel. So for example, for the France one, I was given 3 months. So if I want to travel to France or to the Schengen area, I could travel during those 3 months. So I think that was kind of the best visa that I got, because all the other visas that I've gotten ever since have just been, they have been just a week, 2 weeks, so you're just like, okay, I paid all this money, but I can only come for a few days. I can't travel to other Schengen areas if I want to, because I've been given this amount of time. So I think the one that I can remember, I've gotten one for Malta. So the process was the same, but this one I did apply with BLS. Was it BLS or is it, no, sorry, no, it was not BLS, it was VFS. I applied for the one to Malta with VFS, so I think that went well. I also got the visa that I was looking for, but I think this one was for a month, so it's like they keep on reducing it. And then my friend and I were like, okay, let's go to Italy. This was, I believe, was it last year? Yeah, last year we were like, let's go to Italy. I was like, yeah, since I've gotten my other two visas, actually the reason that I went for the Malta visa is because I wanted to travel to Italy with my friend, and it was supposed to be like in 2 months, but when they gave me the visa, they gave me for 1 month, so it did not cover the whole amount of travel that I needed to travel with. But I had thought, okay, the previous one they gave me 3 months, so if they give me 3 months, it will cover like the whole duration. But unfortunately, it didn't. They gave me 1 month, so I still had to go again and try to look for another visa to go to Italy after that. And for the Italy one, I think I had to go because you also have to book appointments in relation to how they're available, because they're not always available. So you might want to travel in 3 months and the next appointment is in 3 months. So you really can't travel. So you kind of have to go on their schedule. This specific one for Italy, I had to go all the way to I had to travel a bit further, because the only appointment that was available was this one that was so far away. And yeah, that was another story. So I got there, and then I think I had my pay slips, everything that I know I need to get. But what I didn't have, I think, was something to do with a letter of confirmation, because they need, I guess, a letter from your company saying that this person works here and it has to be dated 3 months or less. But the letter that I had expired, because of course the visa I was applying to before, I already had that. So taking it to this appointment, they were like, okay, no, we can't accept any of your documentation. We can't accept your application because this letter is not dated in accordance to what we want. Yeah. Okay. So when I went to to apply for my visa to Italy, they were like, okay, your letter is not up to date. It has to be 3 months or before. Then I was like, okay, could I just call my employer and tell them to send an updated one? They could just send that on email and I could give it to you. And they were like, no, your appointment is 15 minutes. We cannot be able to wait for you to get that. And I had traveled like so far to be able to get this appointment. Yeah, so that was horrible. I think that was like a really horrible experience, because I think they spoke to me like 2 minutes, and of course I paid for this appointment. I paid for like the flights, I paid for everything at this point. So I'm like, okay, you're not even going to look at my documentation and see what I have and see what I have to present. And also I do have proof that I have gone to all these other Schengen countries several times, and I have come back. So it's not that I am trying to escape and be in your country. Like, there's proof. You can be able to see from my previous travels that I have traveled and I did come back. I did not stay there. I did not overstay. I did not go where I I had not specified on my documentation. So it was just, yeah, that was horrible. And then another one that I want to outline, of course, from that, because I was really determined, I wanted to go to Italy because, yeah, I have, of course, also that, what is it called, personality, where I just like, if I want to do something, I'm going to go for it. So this was, I think, one of those situations. Yeah, and of course, since my friend also has a different kind of passport, maybe it's my passport that has an issue or something, because our passport, because I'm a Kenyan, maybe our Kenyan passport is not that strong. But anyway, so I tell my friend, I'm like, okay, I've applied for. I tried to apply and it did not go through. So she was like, oh gosh, what do we do? Because we had made plans together. We were like, okay, we're going to stay in the same place. We're going to split costs and everything. So she was like, okay, I think I'm going to get someone else to be able to share the costs with because you are not able to make it. And I was like, oh gosh, okay, I'm still going to do a last try because I think at this point it was like around 4 weeks to our travel when we had said we would travel. So I said, okay, let me try a third one. And this time I tried with Sweden. And with Sweden, they did. The process was of course the same, but I think by the time I was getting the documentation to them, it was a little bit late. And they were like, okay, will you still make these travels because it's a bit late right now? But then I was like, yeah, that's fine, I will change the dates and I will travel a bit later and still catch up with my friend later as she is still traveling. And they were so gracious, I think Sweden were, because they actually wrote me an email and they were like, okay, we're seeing your travel dates are kind of coming close. We still haven't gotten to you the passport. How do we go about this? And I was able to have the conversation with them, and they're quite gracious, I would say. And I was able to get my passport, I think, on the day of the travel. But my friend had already traveled, and at that time I think I was supposed to travel on, was it a Sunday? And my flight, of course, was already gone, so I couldn't catch it. So I had to get another flight to be able to go. And yeah, so I did a few days in Sweden. And then after that, I went and joined my friend who was in Italy at this time. Yeah, because once you're in the Schengen area, you can be able to move from one country to another, and it's much easier that way. So I think that was my last travel, and since it was so exhausting, I was just like, I don't know if I want to try to apply to go to any other Schengen area at this point because it's just so exhausting. They keep on taking your money, and most of the times there's no results. I feel like they should just tell someone, they should see, okay, what documentation do you have? We can't give you a visa, and then it's that way. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about them taking all this money. Of course, all these flights as well being booked, and people are missing them because they're getting rejected and stuff. But anyway, so I just wanted to speak. The last one is my latest one, actually, which I applied for a month ago, because I have a list of the places that I want to travel to, and my desire is to travel to all these places. I had a list of, I want to travel to 40 countries before 40. And I think because of all these restrictions, you're just like, okay, this is a beautiful dream, but is it valid? Can it happen? Anyway, so I was like, okay, let's get my documents together. I was speaking with my friend. She has a British passport, so she's okay. She can travel ASAP. But for me, I have to go through the process again. Ever since I think last year, I've not tried to do the process again just because of how frustrating it was. But since I've always wanted to go to Spain, I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go to Spain for my birthday. And yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be amazing. So here I am going through the process again after saying that I won't. So I got everything together, and this time I was applying with BLS. So this one is the one which is BLS. And I'm like, okay, I have enough time. I'm gonna apply I think around 6 weeks before my travel, so that should be enough time. And of course, when I say 6 weeks, it is because at the time that I was booking the appointment, the available appointment was 6 weeks before my travel, but this was actually like 3 months before. It was not that I booked it 6 weeks before, it's 3 months before. The available date is 6 weeks before my travel, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna apply because I want to travel to Spain for my birthday. Okay, so here I am. I've collected all my documentation, everything that I need, gone through their list, put everything together. And I'm like, yeah, I think everything will be fine because I've not been. Have I been rejected before when everything has gone through? No, I don't think so. So it's like I have everything, got everything together, went to BLS, presented my documentation, and I was like, okay, have to wait. At the longest a month, we'll have my visa by then and we can travel. I told my friend, yeah, we are good to go, done the application, so we just have to wait for me to receive my passport back. But I had not actually gone and checked online to see the reviews that BLS Spain actually has. So when I went online, it had like the worst reviews. People saying that their passports had been delayed, their visas had been delayed. So many of them had missed their flights. And it has like the worst ratings. I can't remember what the ratings are right now, but yeah, it's not good ratings. But I was hopeful. I was like, yeah, I've given all the documentation, there's no need to worry. I have like a month, that should be enough time for them to get my visa back to me. So here I am, and my friend is like, okay, do you have your passport here? Do you have your passport here? So that we can like finalize on the plans, because at this point I booked the flights, I booked the hotel, I booked some activities to do as well. Yeah, and I provided them with all the documentation, so there wouldn't be a reason for them to reject my application. Anyway, so I wait. A month goes by, and then of course we're all panicking. We're like, okay, why am I not getting my passport back? So I decided, of course, to write to them and ask them about it. That was, I think, a few. Was it this week actually on Monday? Yeah, this week on Monday I did, which is like 3 days ago. Wrote to them, but before I received a response, I did get a message saying that a courier company has my passport is coming back. And I was like, yay, I have the visa, we're good to go. Yeah, and when I got the visa back, which was yesterday, and this is why I decided to make this video, because I think I was just a little bit frustrated. So I received my passport, and they say that they have rejected my visa application, and the reason is that I did not give a reason as to why I'm going to Spain. I was just like, okay. I did not give a reason that why I was going to Spain. My reason was that I was going on tourism. I was going as a tourist, and that was what my application was. That I'm going as a tourist. I've shown you my my documentation. All the documentation showed that I'm employed, and my pay slips. I have showed you that I booked the flight. I've showed you that I booked the hotel. I've showed you that I booked some excursions to go to. So I was just like, okay, what do you mean I have not given a justification for why I'm going to Spain? Barcelona, to be precise. I don't get it. I don't get it. Even now as I'm speaking about it, I'm just like, I don't get it. Okay. Anyway, so I have booked, of course, I booked the flights. I write to the flights, the flight that I was supposed to go with, and I'm like, okay, they rejected my visa. Could I get a refund for the flights that I booked, because I can't fly? Can I cancel this flight? And they tell me, no, you can't cancel the flight. It's not possible to cancel it. So yeah, there's nothing we can do for you. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to give my experience when it came to Schengen visa applications. I think for this is, of course, this is not for everyone, because not everyone is applying for the visas. It's people who are not in the Schengen area, which is, of course, mostly the people in the European area, and not the British, because they're able to travel there like quickly. Yeah, with another system that they use. I'm not so sure. I can only talk about mine um because of my processes, which are of course different from, yeah, other people's. Yeah, but I just wanted to explain my experience and be able to gather from other people whether they've also had this experience. Because this is not my first time applying for this particular visa. If it was my first time, I would have been like, okay, I understand, maybe you have a little bit of worries that I might disappear there. But I have gone to the European countries. I've gone to France, I've gone to Italy, I've gone to Sweden, I've gone to, I can't think of, Malta, and have come back, and there's proof, like you can be able to see from my passport that I have gone to these countries and I have come back. So rejecting it on the basis that I did not give a justification of why I am traveling, I'm just still baffled. I'm so baffled. I don't even know what to say. I'm just baffled, and I think I'm just going to leave it there. So this is for you if you are planning to travel in the Schengen area, and of course maybe you have a Kenyan passport, or you have any other passport where you need to apply for the visa to be able to travel to these countries. It's just good to have a background of what happens, to have an idea of how sometimes, and also be able to share experiences with other people, because maybe other people have gone through this similar experience, and sometimes you think you're alone. You're thinking, okay, maybe I am the one who is not able to get this visa because of something that I am or something that I have done. But from my experience, I wouldn't say there was a reason for the rejection at all on my side. And of course, the reason that they gave me did not make sense to me, still does not make sense to me. I of course had to tell my friend that I cannot be able to travel with you, unfortunately, because my visa was rejected, and of course I've lost all this money that I put in the process, the flights, the visa fees as well, because when you go there you do pay a fee as well, which is not a small fee. So I don't know what kind of protections there are for people who are just applying and money is just kind of disappearing because there isn't. I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave that there. If you have experienced this, please leave a comment in the chat. Let's share our experiences. And yeah, also this is just for the person who's applying for the first time, or the person who wants an idea of how it goes. And of course, I believe everyone's experience is different. There are people whose experiences just go very smoothly. There are people who have different experiences like mine, where it's just been so difficult to get this particular visa, and not being given a reason for it. I think I'm going to end it there today. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for joining me in this rant because I feel that's what it is. I think I just needed to kind of talk about it and be able to see if there are other people with the similar experiences. Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Hope you'll be able to watch other videos that I put out for different things. And yeah, have a lovely